right, y'all. So today I wanted to talk about the America-Israel war. It's been going on for about a week now. And in some of my previous videos, like in January and February, I kind of talked about how I could really see this war coming. I wasn't fooled by this sham of a negotiation that the Americans were conducting. It's very obvious when you gather an armada like that what you plan on doing with it. Unfortunately, the war has started and there's many people suffering, 2,000 Iranians dead, lots of destruction. There's destruction also in the Gulf countries. There's also some destruction in Israel, although we don't really get to see that because of the censorship. And of course, Iran's been suffering the most out of all of the above because it has the might of two of the so-called most powerful armies in the world together, and thousands of bombs dropped already. I talked to my family there. We can't call them, they can only call us. The internet's blacked out. We get a call every day like, hey, we're all alive, we're good. Until next day, I've seen a lot of bombs dropped on my hometown of Esfahan. It's just a crazy thing to see, crazy thing to see your own country getting bombed to oblivion just because two pedophiles who were in the Epstein files decided that they want to distract people from what's really going on. These bloodthirsty pedophiles. A few points I wanted to kind of touch base upon. The first point is, as I said, already 2,000 Iranians at least already dead. But you don't hear anything about this on the Western media. A few months ago when the protests were going on, it was on the news every day. These Western anchors were shedding crocodile tears for, thousands of people that killed in the protests. And now suddenly they don't care, right? I'm not surprised. These crocodile tears were there because they only cared because it served their purpose. It served their end to the goal. They didn't really care about Iranians. They don't care, okay? And it's very obvious to see that now. No one's coming out and saying, like, oh, we're killing so many Iranians. Like, why? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Because all the news media corporations are in the pocket of the Zionist, and so they're not going to question why we're killing Iranians now. Of course, when Iranians are dying at the hand of the regime, they care again because it served their own purpose. But now their purpose is different, right? Their purpose, the Zionist regime has given the directive that we're going for full destruction. So no questions to be asked of the Iranians getting killed. No questions to be asked why we're in this war to begin with. Don't ask questions. We're here. And then fabricate some story about how this has been going on for 47 years. And, the big question is now, where is this going? Like, how is this going to end? And something I was thinking about today is the three governments involved in this, none of them has an incentive for this to stop. In fact, they're all three are incentivized for this to go as long as possible. And I'll go through them all one by one so you can understand. The Israeli government and Netanyahu. Netanyahu is under a lot of pressure for the October 7th investigation. He has elections coming up. And the other thing is that he wants as many Israelis to die and suffer to create even more hatred and fear of Iran. Because when this thing ends, there's going to be a next round. And he wants to go even harder, right? And the more the Israelis suffer, he thinks he's going to solidify his position even more. So he has no interest in stopping this anytime soon, okay? Number two, the Islamic regime. These guys also don't have any interest in stopping this anytime soon. They can take a lot of suffering, they can take a lot of hits, and of course it's the ordinary people who are dying. These guys are out in bunkers somewhere, and they want the people to get hit as hard as possible So they put away even an ounce of thought in their head that the regime should change. Okay, because the harder they get hit by America and Israel, the more they're going to realize that America and Israel are not acting in their interest, right? And they're going to be grateful to the IRGC for supposedly protecting them in this time of war, right? Time of war solidifies people, it unites people, it brings them together. So they want this to go on as long as possible to solidify their own position. Their position had gotten really shaky. You saw during the protests, it was really, really shaky. But now they want to solidify their own position by the suffering of the people from a foreign enemy. And then the third is Trump. You know, Trump was under a lot of pressure because of the Epstein files. Now suddenly everybody forgot. Nobody is, you know, even talking about it anymore. So he wants this to go on as long as possible. And ultimately, war is very profitable for America. So the defense companies are going to make a bunch of money. His oil buddies are going to make a bunch of money when oil hits $100, $200, $250 a barrel, right? So, and you know, there's going to be a few American casualties, probably 100 people max. So really, like, the suffering on the American side is very little. So he doesn't really have a disincentive to stop this. And so this all comes down to how and when this will end is which side chickens first, which side chickens out first, right? So which side, you know, under the pressure of suffering says, no, this is enough and we need to stop. And I can tell you, being an Iranian, it's not going to be Iran. It's not going to be Iran first, because they're very resilient people. We're very resilient people. We already experienced 7 years of war in Iran-Iraq war, when it was basically the whole Gulf states giving money and weapons, including the European countries, to Saddam Hussein. So it was already like Iran versus the whole world. We lived through that for 7 years. We already did it. We can do it again for another 7 years. The Israelis are very soft. Okay, this is the first time in their life that they've been bombed to this extent in their own cities. It's very possible that they could chicken out first. They chickened out last year in June. They could only take 12 days of this, and they asked for a ceasefire. So yeah, it's very possible it could be the Israelis. It could also be Trump. You know, if gas goes to $10 at the gas station, which is not unrealistic now, the way things are going. And now there's talks of America wanting to bomb Iran oil production facilities. I can guarantee you that if they bomb Iranian oil production and processing facilities, they already bombed the oil depot. Iran's gonna, the IRGC will light up the whole Middle East on fire. There's not gonna be an ounce of oil produced from the Middle East for years to come. And what do you think that's gonna do to the price of oil? So, when gas hits $10 at the pump, Trump might chicken out because he has midterms coming up. And so I think those two are more likely to chicken out. But regardless, in the meantime, there's going to be thousands more Iranians dead. There's going to be more death and destruction all throughout the region. Why? Because two bloodthirsty pedophiles decided that this needs to happen. So this is what the world has come to. This ring of satanic, ritualistic, mass murdering pedophiles just deciding our fate. And it's in these times that we have no choice but to turn to God and have faith that whatever comes at the end of this will be better. Will be better for us, will be better for humanity. We don't know why this is happening, right? But we have to take it with grace. We have to take it in faith, and we have to persevere. Much love.